Tamer Chamma, RotoExperts.com. The NFL season is flying right along. Already week 10, and I'm here to give you start sits at the running back position for this upcoming weekend. The first start we're going to take a look at is LeGarrette Blount. He's going to be going up against the Carolina Panthers at home. And Blount is finally the featured back in the Tampa Bay running game, something that fantasy owners have wanted for a few weeks now. It's finally happened over the last couple of weeks. The results have been mixed. A rough weekend this past weekend against the Atlanta Falcons, a good run defense, and of course he had a very good game a couple of weekends ago. I think he's going to revert back to another good performance this upcoming weekend going up against the Carolina Panthers. Now the Panthers' overall run defense numbers are pretty good, but this last weekend against the Saints, against a really bad run team in the Saints, they gave up 165 yards on the ground and a touchdown. That's really inexcusable against the weapons in that Saints running game. I think the Carolina team is really kind of starting to fall apart in all facets. They've been a pretty good defense all year long, but when you continue to lose, good parts of your team start to go bad, and I think that's what's happening with the Carolina run defense and their entire defense at this point. Look for them to continue to struggle, and that's good news for Blount. I really look at him as a running back 2 in deeper leagues for this upcoming weekend, and a guy that you can start as a flex in all leagues for this upcoming weekend. He should be very good for you, so definitely look to start him. The second start we're going to take a look at is Thomas Jones. He's going to be going up against Denver in Denver. Now, Jones had a bad weekend this past weekend against the Broncos, but you really want to focus on the carries. He still got 19 carries in this game. He definitely struggled getting under 40 yards on the ground, but he's still getting the carries, and it's been pretty consistent the entire year, and that's good news for this upcoming weekend because he's going up against a Broncos run defense that really struggles. They're giving up 155 yards per game on the ground, and they've allowed a NFL high, and by a pretty good margin, an NFL high, 14 touchdowns on the ground. So Thomas Jones is definitely a possibility and a probability, actually, if you look at the numbers throughout the season. He should get close to, if not break 100 yards on the ground, and will have a very good chance at a touchdown, considering how many touchdowns the Broncos run defense has allowed this season. So like Blount, he's a running back 2 in deeper leagues, a flex guy in all leagues. The one sit I have for you for this upcoming weekend is LaDainian Tomlinson. He's going up against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Now, Tomlinson quietly has really struggled over the last 3 weeks. He hasn't broken 60 yards on the ground in any of his last 3 games. He hasn't scored a touchdown of any kind, either receiving or rushing, in his last 2 games. He's really struggled, and you've really lost what you were getting from Tomlinson on a week in, week out basis through his first 5 games of the season. I think he's going to struggle again in week 10. The Cleveland Brown run defense is very good. They've been good all season long, and I think they're going to be a tough test for Tomlinson. I would look to sit him in non-PPR leagues. If you're in a PPR league, you still want to start him as a flex because he has been contributing, despite his struggles in the running game, he has been contributing as a receiver over the last 3 games. So you definitely want to look to get him in there if you're in a PPR league. But a non-PPR league, I would definitely look to sit him unless you're absolutely desperate and need to start Tomlinson in that situation. So those are start sits at the running back position. Definitely check out RotoExperts.com for our exclusive Edge package, now at a reduced rate, a further reduced rate of $12.95. That's half off the preseason price, the draft price. Definitely go on there. You can get help throughout the rest of the fantasy regular season, the fantasy playoffs, and for all of you keeper league people, you'll get advice on keepers for the 2011 season. So definitely check that out. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @RotoExperts, and you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @RotoExperts_TC. Coming up later on in the week, I'll have start sits at the quarterback position. Until then, everybody.